Hello and welcome to episode 219. Yes, that is a very big number. Fitting for today because I think I have 19 tabs open. I am joined by Madalena in normal circumstances today. How are you doing today?
Good day, Rick, and good day, community, as always. Yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm super excited about something that we're going to talk about today. Well, everything, because as you said, there's so much to talk about, but something in particular. So, other than that, great, and good to see you in normal circumstances as well.
Yeah, I just got back last night. Where is it? Right here. We did the University Relations Summit for our internship program in our Atlanta center. So I was really happy. Our team is moving 4 interns through. I got back fine, but Kirsten, sorry, Kirsten, she had a late night, one of those 6 extra hours in the airport type of nights, but she did make it home last night. So other than that, we're doing all right. How about you, Maddie?
Yeah, everything great, everything great. I'm just looking forward to talk about everything we have to talk about because,
We
as
have
I
a
said,
lot to
it's
talk
so
about.
much and
So
so exciting.
let's jump into that. And yes, your screen is not messed up. There are this many tabs open, and we're going to jump in. Our first tab is from Stabs. That rhymes. We'll do that on Wednesdays when we record. Stabs is talking about virtual labs in VMware DRS, distributed resource scheduler. Be careful with the resource pools. I got some thoughts on this one. Good one. What caught your eye on this, Maddie?
Well, first of all, Stabs, long time since we last mentioned you, so happy to have you back with that. Yeah, Stabs is discussing a field situation in here where shore backup jobs began failing during VM registration with vCenter. And after some investigation, what he noticed it was that the virtual labs were actually correctly configured and linked to their respective ESXi hosts, but all associated resource pools were actually missing in the vCenter. So the client's VMware's environment used distributed resource scheduler, which was apparently disabled, and that automatically deleted all resource pools. So, you know, what you have to know is like when you try to re-enable it, the resource pool hierarchy and affinity rules are not going to reestablish as well. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. So in order to avoid all this, the snapshot of the resource pool tree is required prior to disabling DRS. This way you can actually restore later. So that's a really simple, if you think about thing to do, that can just get you out of all this trouble of having to recreate the lab from the scratch, which in this situation actually Stabs had to do. So Stabs at the end he says, "Can I request a feature? I would like a feature to save or export the virtual lab configuration from Veeam." And it could be cool also to have an option to rebuild from scratch. This is what he says. Now, I don't know, that's really up to our R&D team, but as some of the community members suggested in the comments, go and put that request as well on R&D forum. Let's see if you're going to get that. In the meantime, he's working on a script that could help out automate creating a snapshot. So let us know about that script. Snaps, let's see how that goes. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I love that we're talking about a use case where there's a lot of virtual labs and sure backup jobs going, okay? Because this is very good way to have that verified recoverability. So the fact that you're using it on scale Stabs is great. So keep that up. And then secondly, right, when you have more than one job and you're running this in a cluster, there will be scenarios where it needs to use different resources. So when DRS kind of blocks it like this is a good catch. So really helpful, everyone. I'd rather, we take this advice here from Stabs and then make sure that we're doing those sure backup jobs rather than, oh, they didn't work, I'll delete them, right? So this is a good one. So really happy to share that one. Thank you, Stabs. All right, next up, Peter Stefan. This might be one of the first times I've called him on a recap, but he's actually got something. Again, I got a lot of opinions on this one about moving the Postgres SQL database to another disk. What caught your eye here, Madi?
So yeah, basically it's like showing us how to move the Veeam Backup and Replication PostgreSQL configuration database to a different drive or partition. And this can be very useful, right, when redistributing storage or improving performance, for instance. And what he's doing here is gives us step-by-step demo on how to do it. But before that, he says, make sure you add a secondary disk or partition to the VBR server, and also ensure the PostgreSQL service user has full read-write permissions on the new location. And then the steps are, as you expect, very straightforward. Stop the PostgreSQL service, move the data recovery to the new drive, upgrade PostgreSQL configuration file to reflect the new data directory path, ensure file and NTFS permissions are correct, restart the PostgreSQL service, verify it starts successfully, and here you have it. And don't forget, of course, to validate and test everything once you set it up. So pretty straightforward demo in here.
Yeah. Tell me you're from Germany without telling me you're from Germany with 26 screenshots. No, I love this, Peter Stefan. Fantastic. No stone left unturned. You know, I was thinking about this. You know, when we think about a default installation for VBR, it does go here, right? That is the default destination. And a lot of people don't know this, but my first, no, I'll say first, but one of my earlier jobs, I was basically a DBA. And, you know, it's one of those things that what you don't do is put it on the C drive. So if you look at the namespace going here, the table space going here, that is, you know, kind of a step in the right direction. And I like to put them on S drive. It was Microsoft SQL back in the day, but because it was super clear, it wasn't D, it wasn't just a next drive, it was down the road, as it were. But this is helpful, good stuff. And then I always recommend a backup beforehand. This is good stuff. And I didn't look to see if there's a KB linked. We might have a KB because this could potentially walk it, but good stuff, Peter Stefan. Thank you for sharing.
Totally.
All right, next up on our featured content. Now we're sticking to 3. We didn't break the rule on this section, but yes, there's still several tabs. We have Marcus, aka Dynamic, talking about how to update the Scality ARTESCA object storage appliance, which actually that's a pretty good AI generated image there. What caught your eye here, Madi?
Well, first of all, Marcus, Dynamic, he's a super regular guest in our recap these days. I don't know if you noticed, but well done, Marcus. Another pretty straightforward article in here, I would say. Marcus is showing us how to update Scality ARTESCA from version either 3.0x or 3.1.0 to the latest version 3.1.1. Of course, he is advising to first go over the official docs and release notes, which would be my advice too when doing any upgrade. But he says you can always use this step-by-step guide in here too, that he shared, because he's another German and he's very thorough again. So as we know it, so he says, hey, log into ARTESCA UI, download update package, run OS update, perform ARTESCA upgrade. Keep in mind, each node takes 60-90 minutes, he says, and upon completion, UI confirms success and shows the new version and support expiration date. And Marcus concludes that, you know, this was a very simple, straightforward upgrade with really minimal downtime for multi-node clusters that requires planning for OS level maintenance, but he had no issues performing the upgrade. So pretty good, straightforward. And I do know that you like this product a lot. So what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I was actually really shocked maybe a few years ago. I met a sales leader from ARTESCA, and they had told me like a percentage, but very much so, most of the ARTESCA deployments are holding Veeam backups, which is like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I think probably the most important part of this is right here, that it took 60 to 90 minutes per system. That's not bad, but it's just important that you know that going in. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the type of thing that could get you stuck and get your stakeholders kind of frustrated with you. So thank you, Marcus, for putting that type of information in for an upgrade. I think this is good. Really like that art, man. That's cool. I mean, look at the detail there. That's pretty good. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. He's always coming up with these awesome AI
Yeah, it's awesome.
images. So
But what book are they reading? What book is that? I don't know. We'll see. Let us know.
let us know, Marcus.
Yeah. All right. That concludes our featured content. And now we're going to section 2, which is the Vanguard blog spotlight. And we have Al Rashid. He is talking about adding a managed server to the V13 Veeam software appliance. So this is a system, in this example, an additional system that's connected to it, which should be familiar in Veeam Backup and Replication. But this is pretty cool. What caught your eye on this one, Madi?
And I know, Rick, that we have discussed V13 quite a bit, and it wasn't even released yet, right? So, but our community got the beta. So, this is a technology preview. So basically, they are excited about the product and all the features that are coming out. But I actually thought it was worth mentioning this article, since I don't think we really talked about adding a managed server, about adding the managed server, so such as VMware, in this case vSphere, to Veeam Backup and Replication V13 running on Linux. So I thought this could be interesting to mention it. And Al is again taking us through step-by-step guide on how to do this, and access the UI, log into your Veeam Backup and Replication V13 on Linux VM, and navigate to managed servers, initiate server addition, enter connection details, add credentials, handle SSL warnings, complete registration. That's very easy, right? And you know what? I just noticed that I selected 3 articles that are really step-by-step guide format. So yeah, I guess I do like those ones. But this is really good for Al, and I do really appreciate our community that they have the beta, they take advantage of it, they create awareness, they are playing with the product, and see what it can do, and put it out there for the rest of the people that still don't have access to the beta. So fantastic job. Thank you, Al, for sharing.
Oh, absolutely, Al. Thank you. And yes, everyone, we're going to start seeing more of the V13, the Veeam software appliance content start to roll in. In fact, I'll just give you a quick example. If you go over to the community hub, and if you're wanting to, I will have the V13 upgrade center, but you can just search V13. Now I have kind of access to a couple more areas that everybody doesn't, but let's just say there's over 100 pieces of content already on the hub from the Veeam 100 and others that are starting to show and tell. This one is out on Al's personal blog, the Vanguard blog spotlight, but you hear it first on the Veeam community recap, and this will be our featured content for the vertical things we're doing on YouTube. So thank you, Al. All right. Now, special department. So many tabs. Let's go through them, Madi. Here we go. First up, UK with a virtual summer event. A lot of stuff on Tuesday the 24th.
Yeah, a lot of great VUG events, virtual and in person, coming next week. So this is VUG UK. Mark and Ian, our leaders, put together this virtual event where they have special guests, some of the Veeam 100 members, Jim Jones talking about VB365. We have Michael Melter talking about RPO. They also have Scality talking about Scality, right, as a sponsor. And then they have Adrian from Veeam giving some sneak peeks on V13, talking about V13. So these are like it seems like the hot topic. So pretty good one. They usually do like about 2.5 hours. This is going to be Tuesday 24, 2:30 GMT. So you still have time to register. I think it's going to be good. You have some top technical people that are going to be there. Go ask your questions. It's a live event. Just great start for the summer.
Yeah, thank you, Jim and Michael. Also, thank you, Adrian, for engaging, and Scality. We already talked about them today. Great to see it. Nice long session here. Good turnout for a virtual event. You know, this is fantastic. All the data tells us less is more, but in terms of time duration, but not these folks. The community loves it. So, thank you, Adrian, Jim, Michael, and Scality. All right, next up on the special department news, not the 24th, 2 days later, Beers with Engineers in New Zealand. Great concept, just hanging out and talking it out. Looks like we got Ben Thomas, the Jason Orchard, the New Zealand VUG leader, going to talk VDC and more. Good stuff.
Yeah, totally. And this is an interesting one because we met Jason at VMon and he offered himself to be a VUG New Zealand leader. And he was like, yeah, I just want to start and I want to put together. And, like sometimes people say and they don't do, but he was like prompt. He just emailed us back and he was like, I want to do this event and I'm going to have it sponsored by, Ingram, and Ben was, as you said, he was on board as well. So they put together this event in Christchurch on Thursday, 26th of June. And it looks like they're going to have a session, Jason and Ben, talking about VDC, which is another hot topic, right? So first of all, or not first, but anyway, congratulations, Jason, for taking the role and good luck with this event. And really can't wait to see pictures and hear stories because I think this is kind of a first in New Zealand. We did have, because our group was before VUG Australia and New Zealand, but I think they did organize some events in Australia, but they never really did in person in New Zealand. So that would be a first. So I'm very excited and looking forward to hear and see pictures of this event.
Yeah, and this is also just a lighter way to engage. It's not 2-3 hours of technical content, just hanging out and talking, and so just finding a different way to engage. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jason, and for all of those who are down in Christchurch. Check it out. Good stuff. All right, next up, still going, same day, Veeam Security First Approach protects your data. This is an online event for the cybersecurity space. We got Lucas, newly minted cybersecurity space leader and overall fantastic individual, along with Edwin, going to do an online event here.
Yeah, and look at it. If you look at the description, that sounds very interesting to me. It's just behind the scenes. Look at how Veeam prioritizes security to protect user data. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting. So I definitely advise everyone, to attend. And if you don't have the time to attend it, live, you will always find all these virtual events on our playlists at the community hub events playlist at the Veeam official YouTube. That's what I meant.
Yeah, indeed. And as well as linked here in the news section of the community hub, we'll have links to these events too. We try to recap not just the promotion, but then sometimes after it happens as well. I'll sometimes even sneak in embedding another video to replay them. So in fact, also with this one, I'm going to talk about this process when we talk about some of this external collaboration to find vulnerabilities and stuff. We have one that we want to share and we're getting it out to the market. We'll talk about that here in a second. But thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Edwin. Look forward to everyone joining Cybersecurity Space online event on the 26th. All right, still same week. Now we're on the 27th, the Friday. It's translated to English. VUG France summer meetup, looking good. Actually, Monaco, south of France with Exagrid. You can join that one. Let's jump over to the agenda tab. Pretty good looking half-day event.
Absolutely, and I will be there for this one with Chris and Philippe, our leaders in South France. Super excited, and it seems they have, even though it's half-day event, it looks like a full agenda. Of course, covering Veeam Virtual Appliance, Veeam 13, amongst other things. I think they didn't really put the name, but I think we're going to have Christophe Fontaine as well there, and a few other names from Veeam. And of course, a lot of the France community. So looking forward to meet everyone, and yeah, to spend some time with you. Always nice, to be in south of France with the user group in there. They always put together some really good ones.
Yeah, Maddie, the things we do. We go to the south of France in the summer. The things we do for our community. I appreciate all that extra work. It's a beautiful place too. And this
Really?
time of year, it's fantastic. So, Maddie knows how to pick them. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Or I get invited by
Yes.
our awesome leaders. So sometimes I say no, sometimes I say yes. So
I was
this
in
time I had to say yes because I said no to the Marseille one. So
I was in Nice a couple weeks ago. I've not been to that part of France before. It was fantastic. So it was nice. Just down the way from Monaco. So thank you, Christophe. Thank you, Stabs. Thank you, I think, Exagrid and Monaco Digital as sponsors as well. All right, still going. Special department. We have a new user group, VUG Chile. Fantastic.
yes, I would like to congratulate our leader Alvaro for taking this role and really looking forward to work with him. And if you guys from Chile and you haven't joined the group yet, you should do it. Alvaro has been posting every week since we started this group. Some amazing articles, different topics. So I think it's a good place to subscribe to because he's going to keep it active and engaging. And please, by all means, go and contribute as well. Ask your questions, post some articles, some tips and tricks, because, it doesn't have to be only Alvaro, but Alvaro is already doing a great job in there. And I'm really looking forward in a couple of months to have our first virtual event as well. So very exciting. Thank you, Alvaro. And definitely a great place to be.
And you might have noticed I was translating the browser from English to Spanish. This group will operate in Spanish, so like some of the other ones in Latin America. So thank you, Alvaro. It's kind of funny. It translated his username to, I think it said Miranda. It was interesting here. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It got the username with the translation. But thank you, Alvaro, and welcome members from VUG Chile. All right, still going. This is a cool one. This is a group that we've had for a while, and we've got some news. And I'll jump over to the visual here to tell us what's going on.
Yes. So I am really absolutely excited about this. Is what I was talking, in our introduction. I'm going to share this milestone for the project that's very close to my heart, the WAIT group, our Women and Their Lives in Tech community. We now have 3 amazing leaders stepping in to help, shape what's next. And that's Jess, Leah, and Kira. Congratulations for being selected to be group leaders. And of course, big thanks to Federica for her commitment, great support as always, and really excited to start this journey with you girls. And you are all super passionate and creative, and we're gonna have some amazing projects coming together. We are planning a virtual event soon, probably in July, so stay tuned. There's gonna be conversation, inspiring topics, and I really know that this group is in best hands now. So
Indeed.
totally, just join this group, either if you are a woman or a man, an ally, because we need support as well. So there are a bunch of articles and contributions there, but definitely looking forward to more. And let us know if you are interested in some particular topic that you would like to hear in some of our events that are coming next in the next months. So very, very exciting about it. And this is not the only project that is coming. We are still working on something else related to women for this year at least, but not talking about it yet.
Right on. And I know Kira. She's fantastic. Leah, I do not yet know. Look forward to it. Jess, I kind of know a long roundabout way, but I think all three of these will team up and do fantastic things. The Women and Allies Tech, it's one of those user groups, those thematic groups we have. Check it out. Tell your friends, you know what? Tell a lady that you might know that is interested just in this. And you'll see when you go through this, like Madi wrote up some stuff about some professional development. We have some Veeam stuff, but like most of the stuff in here isn't Veeam stuff. It's really a place where women and allies in tech can really just have a continual experience for professional development. So thank you all. Thank you, Madi and Sophia and Federica. You all are driving that independently, fully supported by Dave, me, and others. So rock on. All right, believe it or not, now the next part of special department is me. And when we talked about the online event in cybersecurity space, when Edwin and Lucas are going to talk about some of the processes and stuff, this is an output of that. I want to draw everyone's attention to KB 4743. There is a new patch for Veeam Backup and Replication. And there's also, I believe, the agent takes an update too. But basically, there were some CVEs that were determined and they were patched. Number one thing, they were patched. The CVEs just got published the same day as the patch, so we moved very quickly on this. I would recommend everyone update these, right? So we are, if you want to read more about the vulnerability disclosure program, we have that here where you can, get information about that. But basically, this is an area where we move really quick to patch it. Just want to bring everyone's attention to that one. I have another KB that I want to bring up to everyone's attention. This one is KB 4129. This is an update for the Flash Array plugin for Pure environments. It's one of the more deployed storage integrations. We use it in the lab ourselves. But anyways, check this one out if you're using Pure Storage. If you've been watching this show for a long time, you'll know that I love to go to KB 4514. But what I want to also highlight is, like, while this has not been updated in that manner, the actual individual file has. Okay, so I always look at the revision of the file. This file version is 105. So what that means is there's been new TTPs added in the malware detection. Or sorry, there's new TTPs added in the IOC detection, or additional ransomware strains identified in the inline detection. So for example, if I go to the end, I'll just say, here's some new, I don't know if these are new, but I'm just saying you can find the individual ransomwares in here, right? And towards the end is where the new ones get added, right? So anyways, this, you don't want to read it. This is like a very, very long XML document. But the real takeaway here is that it was updated. And if you do not have your Veeam Backup and Replication server connected to the internet, you should update this file. I try to catch it when it does take an update, and that's what I'm doing here today. All right, that is it, special department. So the next thing is, who's new? Madi, what in the heck is going on? I have no clue.
I mean, community is active. That's what's going on. So
Yeah.
that's amazing, right? That's good news. We have stuff to talk about. So
yeah, and like I feel bad for Sophia. She's trying to fit all these names, and you can even see they're running off the bottom of the screen. Sophia, thank you so much for trying to get them all on there. We might just have to go with the number, but Sophia did pick a few coolest usernames: Cybernetic Nomad, IT Office, Slacky, and Support Flag. Now, we got to say, what she picked for Alfred's pick, we both really liked.
Yes, we did.
All right, and that is Tech Diva. So Tech Diva, you have a badge coming your way, fitting with what we talked about here with Wait just a second ago. That was a lot.
That was a lot. That was long, but great. I think we have so much good stuff in here. So I'm happy to see our community super active, doing things, being passionate about doing things. So that tells us that we are doing a good job as well. So,
well, the community's doing a good job. We're just the news. We just pick up what other people are doing, and we're so grateful for our community. And I think it's also important to highlight the content like we do, make sure everyone knows about these resources, the special department stuff, and just, that's the difference maker, is knowing information, just knowing what's going on. So we hope that we are giving each of you some of that in this show. Madi, thank you so much for joining me here on the recap.
Absolutely, Rick. Always a pleasure.
Next week, we got to do an earlier recording because I got a vacation. So we might switch it up a little bit. And then I'm off, and then we got a U.S. holiday to be determined. But we'll try to get episode 220 under normal circumstances, but who knows after that. All right. Thanks, Madi. And everyone, have a great week. We will see you next week on 220.